we're going to be doing some strength and conditioning today. If you've met me already, my name is Lydia. If you haven't, my name is Lydia. I'm a student at Quinnipiac, and we're going to get started. Most of our exercises will be seated, but I know last time a bunch of people liked the standing options as well. So I'm going to show both options for each exercise, and then we'll be doing those throughout. We're going to do a warm-up, an upper body portion, and a lower body portion of the course, just like last time. The warm-up will be seated just for everybody, but then for the upper body and the lower body, there's going to be some seated and standing options. So do whatever you're comfortable with. Grab some water if you'd like to have some. And if at any point you're feeling pain or if you have any limitations, functional limitations, please take that into consideration and do whatever you're advised to do. But other than that, we're just going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So everybody get comfortable in your seat. We're going to start with our seated toe touches, reaching down towards your heel and then up towards the ceiling. Bring the arms around, and then we're going to reach down and back up for the other foot. Really opening the chest here. We're going to start warming up our body, getting ready to use our upper body and our lower body for this class. Each exercise we're going to be doing for around 30 seconds before we move into the next exercise. So we've got 3 and 2 and 1. We're going to go for a spinal twist next. Bring our arms out to a T. We're going to twist in one direction, turning the torso all the way, letting the head follow with the torso. Come back to the center and to the other direction. Alrighty, to the center and twist. Back to the center and twist. We're just getting a little spinal twist in here. Only go as far as you can, as far as you're comfortable with. It's not about how far you get, it's just about warming up the spine. For 2 and 1. We're going to bring our arms down. We're going to go for the seated shoulder roll. So bringing our shoulders up, back, and down the spine. Opening up our chest, restoring the posture. If you were in class last week, you know that I talked a lot about posture, and I'm going to do it again because it's very, very important. We need to pay attention to it, and we often don't. We're busy people, but it's great to have a few minutes to just open up that chest, bring our shoulders back, and align our spine. We're going to go for a seated head roll, just bringing the head down, chin to chest, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, then bring the head back down to the chest and bring the left ear to the left shoulder. So we're just doing this half arc here, kind of stretching the back of the neck and then the side of the neck, going at your own pace. We've got 2 and 1. Okay, rest for a second. We're going to take a little rest, and then we're going to do that all again, and that'll conclude our warm-up. So just getting the body moving here, doing what feels comfortable for you. You might notice that you feel tight in some areas, and that's okay. We're just going to work with what we're feeling today and try to get everything moving a little bit. So after this warm-up, we're going to move into our first circuit, which is going to be the upper body circuit. We've got some exercises. All of these exercises can either be done seated or standing. So we're going to go for either. But for now, we're going to go back into the dynamic warm-up. We're going to go for the seated toe touch second round, reaching up to the ceiling, bringing the arms around, and then reaching towards the heel. Okay, we are planting the heel on the ground and pointing the toes up to the ceiling so that we get a good stretch through the back of the calf. Bringing your arms up and around, back towards the floor, up and around, back towards the floor for 2 and 1. Perfect. We're going to go back to that spinal twist, arms out to the side. We're turning in one direction. Make sure you're turning your head with your upper body, back to the center, and in the next direction. Kind of restoring that posture. Giving the spine a little twist, only go as far as you need, and then come back to center. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Back to my favorite, the shoulder rolls, bringing the shoulders up, pushing them back and driving them down your spine. Okay, kind of think about bringing your chest apart, opening up the chest muscles, pinching your shoulder blades together, and pushing your shoulders down your back. You get about 10 more seconds of this. You should really feel like you're pulling the shoulders up, pushing them back, and then driving them down. Get each of those motions. For 2 and 1, we're going to go back to that head roll, but this time we're going to tilt the head right ear to right shoulder, tilt the head back so you look at the ceiling, and then bring left ear to left shoulder. Now try to keep the back of your neck, your shoulder blades down so that when you tilt your head back, you're not scrunching like this. Try to press those shoulders down, roll your head back, and this can be very challenging. We're gonna go for 3 and 2 and 1. Perfect. Excellent job, everyone. So that concludes our dynamic warm up. Go ahead and grab some water if you need it, but we're going to be moving right in to our first circuit, which is going to be the upper body circuit. So a few exercises here. You're welcome to do these in standing if you have good balance. I would suggest 2 feet on the floor right underneath your hips, or you can do these in seated. I'm going to show them all in seated, but for each one, you should be able to do it in standing as well. Okay, guys, so how this is going to work is that we're going to be doing each exercise for 30 seconds, and then we're going to rest and go into the next exercise. We'll be doing the whole thing for 2 sets. So once you've done each exercise 1 time, we're going to repeat each exercise for 2 times, and then we'll be done with upper body, and we'll head to some lower body. Okay, guys, so very first thing we're going to be starting with is our external rotation. So we're going to be seated or standing. You're going to have your elbows in. We're going to be fisting our hands here, turning the fist out and bringing them back into neutral. So my arm is bent at 90 degrees. I'm pulling my wrist out and bringing it back in. Alrighty, guys, so this is working our shoulders here. When you pull those fists out, we're gonna squeeze our shoulder blades together in the back and then bring the fist back in, relax those shoulder blades. Okay, guys, we're going for 3 and 2 and 1. So that is working the external rotators of our shoulder, which is part of our rotator cuff, very important. Next, we're going to be going into our seated or standing shoulder flexion. So bringing the arms up, thumbs up to the ceiling and back down. Thumbs up to the ceiling and back down. Perfect. Working the front of our arms right here, the front of our deltoid muscle. We are doing this motion constantly throughout our day, and it's not something you think of often, but it's very necessary. So I'm bringing my hands up to about 90 degrees. That's what you really need to get the most out of this exercise. But if you want to go higher, if you want to work on a little bit of range of motion, feel free to bring your arms up if it feels comfortable for you. We're going to go for 3 and 2 and 1. All right, switching directions here, but same basic principle. We have 2 ways that you can try this exercise. We're going to go out to the side. This way I'm doing my thumbs up, but you can also do palms down, whichever you prefer. Bring our arms out to the side. We're actually working the same muscle here, your deltoid right here on your arm, but it's the side of that muscle instead of the front. Great job, everyone. Think about engaging your core, keeping your shoulder blades back, your chest up, bringing those arms out to the side and back down. Great work. Everyone looks great. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Little rest here. So again, all of these exercises can be done either in standing or in seated, whatever you prefer. Just know if you're in standing, you're using a little bit more stability, so you are using some lower body work as well. Alrighty, next we're going to be moving into the bicep curls. So you're going to be making a fist out of your hands, bringing your hands up to your shoulders and lowering down. Bring them up and lower down. Alrighty, guys, so really feeling like you're engaging, contracting that bicep muscle when you bring your arms up to your shoulders and then lower them down slowly. We want to fight the resistance of dropping our arms. So we might not think about it, but our arms do have a lot of weight to them in and of themselves. So yielding them around all the time is a good form of exercise. And you feel the most resistance when you're at this 90-degree angle. So try to slowly go through that part of the motion. We've got 2 and 1. Go ahead and rest. That's all we got for arms for our first set. We're going to be going for some shoulder retractions, bringing our shoulders back, pinching them together, and then releasing. We've got 30 seconds of this one. So we are bringing our shoulder blades together, pinching them like you're pinching a pencil that's sitting on your spine, and then go ahead and relax. Alrighty, so this is a great postural exercise. If you find that you've got that rounding in the shoulders, bringing your chest forward, clenching your chest muscles, this is really going to open up your chest and also make your back stronger to hold your chest open throughout the day, not just when you're thinking about it. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Alrighty, this next exercise is new. We didn't do it last week, but I like to call it soup cans. So you're going to be holding your fists like you're holding cans of soup, and we're going to be dumping the soup and filling the cup. Dumping the soup and filling the cup. So this is another motion that we don't think about that often, but it's extremely critical for everything that we do every day. And it's important to work these shoulder muscles, thinking about rounding your shoulders when you go to dump the cup and then pinching your shoulder blades together when you go to fill the cup. Alrighty, guys. Nice job, everyone. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent work. And just like that, that is set number 1 of upper body. So we're going to take a little rest, a 1-minute rest, have some water. We're going to do it all again. So this time I'm going to be standing. You have the option to do the seated like I just did. Every single exercise can be done also in seated. Again, it's just dependent on whether you want that stability aspect. Now, I will mention it really does depend on what kind of floor you're standing on as well. So I got some carpet here. If you're standing on carpet, you're going to be using more of your muscles to balance. It's actually going to be a little more difficult to balance than if you're standing on something like tile, like I've got here. So that's something you might not think about, but it is a way to make things more challenging for you. If you would like things to be a little more challenging, you can find some shag carpet. That's really good. It challenge your balance. Just make sure that if you're unstable, you have something to hold on to or something to catch you. We don't want anybody tipping over. So make sure that you're firm. You got a firm stance if you're going to be standing up. We got our knees right under our hips. We are going to be going for our external rotations in 3 and 2 and 1. So making our fists, we are keeping our elbows in towards our stomach, and we are just bringing the fists out and pinching our shoulder blades together. Excellent work. This is another good one for the posture. And this one can be done just like all the other exercises. If you need to add a mild weight, if you are approved to do so by your physician, this can be used with a weight, or you could use a rubber band here, like an elastic band, to get a little more resistance in this exercise. We're going to go for 2 and 1. Okay, go ahead and rest. Shake out your arms if you need to. We're going to be going for the shoulder flexion. So that's bringing the thumbs up to the ceiling, arms out in front of us, in 2 and 1. Alrighty, guys. So thinking about keeping our core engaged and moving nothing but the arms. So we don't want to be swinging our arms up or dropping them low when we bring them down. We want to be standing up nice and tall, bringing our arms up, thumbs come up to the ceiling, and then bringing them down to our sides. This is a great exercise. Again, if you feel comfortable and if you're approved by your physician, you can add 1 or 2 pound dumbbells to this one, and you're really going to feel it in your upper arms. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, now going out to the side. So there's 2 ways to do this one, and you can do either. It's whatever feels more comfortable for you. So way number 1 is that your palms are down, and we're bringing our arms out to the side. Palms are down. This is working, again, the side of that deltoid muscle, your shoulder muscle, but you can also do this with the thumbs up. Okay, so thumbs are coming up to the ceiling, bringing the arms up to a 90-degree angle, and then dropping them down. So this one is totally up to you. You can try both and see which is more comfortable for you. It's actually funny. So I work in a therapy clinic right now as an aide, and I have really seen it both ways with patients, and people just have to try it and see which one they prefer. So you do whatever one you prefer, whatever one feels more comfortable for you. We're going for 2 and 1. Go ahead and rest. We're going to be starting with the bicep curls again in 3, 2, and 1. So bringing the fists up to the shoulders and then slowly lowering them down. So like I was saying last time we were doing this exercise, you're facing the most resistance when you're holding that arm at this 90 degrees, okay, guys? So because of gravity, you're facing the most resistance. You're holding up the most amount of your arm's weight when your arm's at that 90 degrees. So try to slowly lower through that range of motion before you bring your arm back up to contract. Perfect. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Perfect. That's all the arm exercises we got. We got the shoulder retractions next, okay? So we're going to be bringing our shoulder blades back like you have a pencil right aligned in the middle of your spine and you're trying to squeeze it in between your shoulder blades. We've got 2 and 1. So we bring the shoulders back and relax, back and relax, back, relax, and relax. Great job, everyone. And this is a nice one because you can do this one basically anytime. If you're feeling some fatigue, if you're feeling like you need to realign your posture, you can do this in seated. You can do this in the car. It doesn't really require you to move your arms much. So we're really just strengthening your back here, opening up the chest. We've got 2 and 1. Okay, we're gonna go back to those funny little soup cans. This one, I feel like people sometimes feel like this one feels weird, but it's a really good one to practice, especially if you're not getting much motion here. And that's totally okay if you're not, but if you would like to get some more, it's a great way to practice. So we're gonna be dumping the soup and filling the cans. Dumping the soup, filling the cans, making sure we're rounding the shoulders when we dump and pinching the shoulders when we fill. And this one's not a race. So, like a lot of these exercises, you actually get more out of it when you take your time and make sure you get every part of the movement rather than getting in as many reps as possible. And there are times when you should get as many reps as possible, and then there are times to focus on each individual exercise. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Nice job, everyone. That is the end of upper body. Give yourselves a round of applause. Made it through halfway through this class. We are going to get started with our lower body, just switching up my timers here in about 1 minute. So same thing for lower body. There are some exercises that need to be seated, but a lot of them are actually able to be standing too. So our very first exercise before we get started, so we got a little bit of rest here, but I'm just going to demonstrate, okay? So I've got my chair here. If you're able to, go to the back of your chair. I'm just moving mine because I don't have a lot of room. Our first exercise has an upgraded level, an exercise option for you guys to choose. So this is going to be a mini squat. So we're holding on to something stable. So actually this chair probably isn't the best, but something that's going to hold your weight. Okay, so maybe like a table. We're going to go for a mini squat. So just squatting less than 90-degree bend in your knee and then coming back up to standing. So this is an advanced option of the next exercise that we're going to do. We're focusing on sitting our hips back like we're sitting in a chair versus bringing our knees forward. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to bring the knees forward. We want to sit back like we're sitting in a chair, come back up to standing. Okay, so that's our advanced option. Now, if that seems a little bit advanced for you, or you're just not comfortable trying it right now, that's totally fine. When we're going to start with glute sets, which is where we sit, and we're going to squeeze our glutes together and then relax, squeeze them together, and then relax. So the focus of each of these exercises is just to try to get in that glute activation. Alrighty, guys, we're going to be starting with those 2 exercises. I'll show them both, but we're going for 30 seconds in 3 and 2 and 1. So if you're trying the mini squats, hold on to something, sit back like you're sitting in a chair, less than 90-degree bend in your knees, and then stand up, squeeze your glutes. Sitting back, stand up, squeeze your glutes. If you're going for the seated option, we're seated, we're squeezing our glutes and then relaxing. Squeezing our glutes and then relaxing. It's better if you can keep your feet planted on the floor, not like I was just doing. Squeeze the glutes, relax, squeeze the glutes, relax. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, the next exercise, we're all going to do it seated. Okay, it doesn't really work that well standing. We're going to be lifting our leg out, straightening our leg, flexing the foot, and then relaxing, opposite leg, and relaxing. Okay, guys, so we're actually going to be going 30 seconds on the right leg, and then we'll switch to the left leg. Alrighty, so starting with the right leg, we are engaging that quad muscle at the top when our leg is straight, and then slowly lowering our leg back down. From the side here, leg goes out straight, engaging the top of the thigh, and then foot comes down slowly. Alrighty, guys, we're starting with the right side here. We're going to be going to the left side in 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, guys, switching to the left side. You're flexing that foot, bringing that leg out to straight, and then relax it to the floor. Bring that leg out to straight, relax to the floor. Okay, so working the front of our leg instead of the glutes, which is the back of our body here. So we want to get that dual action. We want to get both the front and the back of our body engaged because we want to make sure that we're working our whole body, have some equilibrium within our body systems. We're going for 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, guys, next exercise, again, option to standing or seated. It's going to be marches. So if you're seated, bringing the knee as close to the chest as you can while still standing up, sitting up nice and tall. If you're going to be standing, we're going to be holding on to something, bringing the knee up to the chest, making sure that you're really sturdy in your balance. We're going for 30 seconds here. Okay, guys, make sure you have that other foot firmly planted. If you're standing, before you go ahead and lift up the next foot, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, chest is open, shoulders are back. And if you're seated, same deal. We're going to keep the chest up, keep the shoulders back, and you're lifting that knee up towards the chest. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, guys, next exercise is going to be working the back of the leg again. So we're going to be going for a hamstring curl and standing. We're going to be bringing the heel to the glutes, lower down slow, heel to the glutes, lower down slow. Okay, we're starting on the left leg or whichever leg you want. We're going to do one at a time. If you're seated, you're going to bring the heel up behind your chair, lower down slow. From the side, up to your glutes, lower down slow. Okay, guys, we're working the back of the leg here, doing one leg only now. Really squeezing, pressing your heel towards your glute, and then lowering the leg down. We've got 2 and 1. On to the next side. So I've got my right leg here. I'm going to be bringing the heel up to my glute and lowering down. Heel to the glute, lower down. Really engage. What we've got going on here is the hamstring on the back of our thigh, engaging that muscle, getting equal work in the back of our thigh as in the front of our thigh. Okay, we gotta keep those muscles balanced. We've got 2 and 1. Perfect. So the next exercise is going to be a new one. This one's kind of funky as well, kind of like the soup cans. So I like to call it ankle 4-way. So our ankle is going to move in 4 directions. We're going to push with our foot, lift our foot up, turn our foot to the inside, and turn our foot to the outside. But we're going to be doing both feet at the same time. So we're going to start in 2 and 1. Toes come up, toes come down, soles towards each other. Try not to move your knees like I just did. Soles towards each other and soles out. Okay, guys, toes up, toes down. Try to keep your knees stable, soles towards each other, soles to the outside. This is a really challenging exercise. We're getting all 4 ways of ankle movement with one exercise. Alrighty, guys, we've got one more round. So we're gonna do toes up, toes down, feet into the middle. Try not to move your knees. It's so hard. And then feet out. Okay, and 2 and 1. Alrighty, guys, go ahead and have a rest. We're going to start round 2 in about a minute. Have some water, take a little rest. So this ankle exercise I see it a lot in rehab, and we learn a lot about it. It's the 4 ways that your ankle can move, and it really is important for ankle stability. So the first way that you stabilize yourself if you're going to fall or if you're losing your balance is your ankle actually stabilizes your body. So the very first thing if you're trying to catch your balance before you start moving your upper body is your ankles will shift and try to stabilize, which is great. So we want to keep those muscles nice and strong to prevent falls and keep us sturdy on our feet. So that's the purpose of that last exercise. We're going to work on it a little bit more at the end of this next set. So we're going to start again with those mini squats or option to glute set in 2 and 1. So option 1, sitting back into your squat, standing up nice and tall, squeeze the glutes. Sitting back like you're sitting in a chair, keep the knees behind the toes and standing up. Option 2 for this exercise, we're squeezing our glutes and relaxing, squeezing our glutes and relaxing. All right, you guys, we've got less than 10 seconds. Keep your shoulders up. We're really working those glutes. Think about engaging that muscle. Very important and strong muscle for walking. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, guys, we're going to be all seated, going for our leg extensions, working the top of our thighs here in 2 and 1. We're going to start with the right leg. So leg comes out, back down to the floor. Leg comes out, back down to the floor. Great job, everyone. Really think about engaging the top of your thigh, squeezing that muscle before you bring the leg down. And again, you can always make these exercises more challenging. The best way to make this one more challenging would be to add some weight to the end of your ankle. If you have some and if you are able to, that would be a great way to add an addition to this exercise. We are going to go ahead and switch to the left leg for 30 seconds. Flexing the foot, bringing the leg out to straight, lowering down slow, out to straight, lowering down slow. Great job. Check your posture. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Something I always forget when I'm focusing on an exercise. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, 2 options next. The marches. We got seated marches or standing marches. If you're going in between, you're also doing a lot of work getting up and sitting back down. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you're starting to feel tired, feel free to stay seated. We're going to go for the marches here. So bringing the knee up to the chest, slowly lowering the foot back down, And if you're standing, bring the knee up to the chest, lowering the foot, fully planting that foot before you go back to lift the next leg. Alrighty guys, so really focusing here. We don't want to be crouched over. We want to stand up nice and tall, keep our core in, thinking about pulling our belly button towards our spine. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Gonna go for the hamstring curls next. One leg starting first. If you're standing, that one's gonna look like this, where you're bringing your heel up to your glute. If you're seated, same basic look, but you're gonna be bringing your heel to your glute on the side of your chair. Okay, guys, so we're going for 30 seconds. I'm gonna start with the left leg, bringing the heel to the glute, contracting the back of that thigh, and then relaxing. Okay, guys, so when you're walking, both the front and the back of your thigh are involved in that exercise, as well as the front of your hips and your glutes. So all of these are getting worked in this class today, in this strength and conditioning class, to help you with things every day that you do every day, like walking. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna be switching sides. So I'm gonna go for my right leg in seated, squeezing the back of the thigh, bringing the heel to the glute. And if you're standing, that's gonna look something like this. Bringing the heel to the glute, make sure you're holding on to something, engaging the back of the thigh, and relaxing. Alrighty, guys, repeat that less than 10 seconds. For 3 and 2 and 1. Alrighty. Last thing, we're going for the ankle four-way again. So again, this one's a little bit weird. Bear with me. It's a really important exercise. So what we're going to be doing is pointing the toes down. You can do this with the toes on the ground too. Pointing the toes down, bringing the toes up, bring the inside of the feet together. Try not to move the knees. It's very hard. And then bring the inside of the feet out to the outside. Toes come up, toes go down, inside of the feet, outside of the feet. So you can see my knees are moving and I'm trying not to move them. It's a very challenging exercise. It's a little bit easier if you focus on one leg at a time, but we're going for 3 and 2 and 1. Great job, everyone. That's the end of our leg circuit. Give yourself a round of applause. We're gonna go for a little bit of a cool down here, and then you'll be on your merry way. So it'll be your 30-minute circuit here. All right, so we're gonna do some of the exercises that we did at the beginning of class, starting with our toe touches. So we're gonna be planting our heel, reaching down towards our feet, and reaching up to the ceiling, bringing the arms all the way around, and switch feet. Reach down towards the left heel, up to the ceiling, bring the arms all the way around. Great job, guys. Feel that stretch to the back of the calf. Feel that stretch as you reach up towards the ceiling. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Go for a spinal twist here. So 2 options. You can either go for arms crossed and twist back to the middle and twist, or you can go to the same one we did before, arms out to the side and twist to the middle and twist. If you're going for the cross here, you're really relying on your spine for this movement, not using any accessory motion from the arms. Just give you a little bit of a better idea how far you're getting with this motion. All right, guys, we've got 3 and 2 and 1. Back to my favorite, these shoulder rolls. Bring the shoulders up, back, and down the spine. Open up that chest. Maybe look up a little bit. Think about restoring your posture to the best way it can be. Think about standing up nice and tall, chest up, shoulders back. We're going to do this for 3 and 2 and 1. We're going to finish out with this head roll, leaning the right ear to the right shoulder, rolling the head down, around, left ear to left shoulder, down, chin to chest, and back. Alrighty, guys, feeling the stretch through the back of the neck here. Now we're gonna switch, so lean the right ear to the right shoulder, tilt the head back, left ear to left shoulder, tilt the head back. Alrighty, guys, so really feeling the stretch through the front of your neck this time. All right, and very last thing, we're gonna be reaching our arms all the way up or as high as you can get them, and then just letting them drop down, kind of releasing all the tension in your shoulders. Let yourself relax. Thank you so much for coming to class today. Again, this has been Strength and Conditioning, and I'm Lydia. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and these classes are recorded if you'd like to do them again, or if you'd like to add anything when you do it next time. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it so much, and I'm going to end the recording now.